Good evening. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening. I'm Halicue, the creator and the co-host of the Hey, It's Halicue podcast. It is the only podcast for Black women of the 92%, for Black women of the 92%. My name is Halicue Hannah, and I am a thought leader and a content creator for Black women of the 92%. But tonight, more than anything, I am a Black woman from Southern Mississippi. That is right. Y'all know, y'all that have been rocking with me for a while, you know me. You know I am from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, born and bred. But I was born in Greenwood, Mississippi, which is the Delta. And even though I've been traveling all summer, I have really been looking forward to the beautiful new movie Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan, directed by Ryan Coogler, that we're all obsessed with, right? And I just have to tell you, it took me a while. I wish I could have seen it the first weekend it came out, but I couldn't because I was traveling back from London with my family. And once I got back, like y'all, I'm 52, I'm Gen X. Like it takes me a while. Hey, y'all, come on in. Oh, I'm so happy to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. We are going live to a couple of different places tonight. So first of all, shout out to everybody in TikTok land. Hello. And on the tube that is you. Hopefully we have it going on Substack as well. I wish y'all could see my setup here. I am quite proud of myself. But welcome to this conversation. I'm so excited. And um over on TikTok on the Clock app, when people come hang out with me on live, I almost always get some of my home people. I almost always get some of my folks from Mississippi. So if you are from Mississippi, I want for you to chime in immediately. If you have near relations from Mississippi, I would like for you to chime in immediately, please. Oh, goodness, let me turn that all the way down. Sorry, we have a little bit of feedback. Yep, we got some feedback over there. Just wanted to check the feed with everybody over in Substack. Hey, Substack, what's going on? What's going on? How are you? So yes, if you are from Mississippi, oh, I see Jed, I see Butterfly. Hey, how are you doing? How are y'all doing? Welcome, come on in. We're talking about Sinners, the amazing new movie, the film, the experience, directed and original film um, from Ryan Coogler. Like this movie is not just a movie. It truly is to me a conjuring, and so much of that is because I am from Mississippi. I honestly feel like that's really the only people I kind of want to hear from and hear review this movie. I cannot tell you the way this movie just cried out to my soul. And y'all, I'm serious. Even though y'all may not hear my accent, it takes me actually being very comfortable and back down home for a long time. I was born in southern Mississippi. I was born in the Delta in Greenwood, Mississippi. And I was born and reared there. So I left when I was 18 and went to college, but almost my entire family is still there. And just y'all, I mean, I knew the movie was set in Mississippi, but I didn't know it was gonna hit me as hard as it hit me. Seriously, it was such an experience. I was just miserable every day because until I was able to get to the theaters and to actually see it. I was kind of mad because I'm like, I'm ready to go see it. Everybody's talking about it. I want to make some content about it. I know I'm gonna love it, but I didn't know how deeply it would strike me um in my soul. I knew I wanted to go, I want to go see it in IMAX. I wasn't able to see it in IMAX first, but I'm definitely going to go back to see it in IMAX. And just you all, I knew, and I was nervous about going to go see it because I don't like horror. Horror is not how I get down. Hey, Tony. Hey, Edgar. Hey, Tia. How are y'all doing? Come on in. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm Halicue Hannah. Y'all know me just as Halicue on just about every social media platform. On the name of my podcast is and they're the hearts. Who is in here? Who just came on in here? Welcome on in. Thank you so much, y'all, for getting the hearts going and getting the energy going. I appreciate that, and it encourages people to come into the live. And y'all know I am a Black woman creator. I create for Black women of the 92%. Let me go over here. Let me check our comments like really, really, really quickly. Y'all, I may have a tough time with the comments because I have a sticker up here, but I'm going to do my absolute best to get everything. Oh, hello. And so Belinda, my couture, Tabla Sevi. Oh my gosh, how are you doing? Welcome. Come on in, y'all. We're talking about sinners. Okay. We're talking about the movie Sinners. It took me a while to see it. I was able to see it on Friday. Yes, I know. Thank you for the love and thank you for the hearts. Yes, thank you. Please. And you know, I don't like to get things started by asking for things, but why not? Y'all, if we could get to 1,000 hearts, that would be so wonderful. It lets all of the platforms and all the algorithms know that we're having a lively and engaged conversation. It is going to be a lively, engaging conversation if we are talking about sinners. Y'all, my mind is still blown. And I have to say, it's not some kind of competition, but I cannot help but feel like if you are actually from Mississippi, born and reared the way I am, that movie has got to hit you that movie has got to hit you different. And oh my gosh, if you were born in the Delta, y'all, I'm born in the Delta. Now, apparently my mother hated it, like hated the Delta. I was born there. We did not stay there that long. I was born in Greenwood, Mississippi, which is like right outside of Sidon Plantation. It's like an actual cotton plantation that is still a cotton plantation you can go to. I have this really beautiful picture of my oldest daughter playing in the cornflowers. I mean the in the cotton flowers there along one of the rows. So I just there was so much about the film that I loved, but if you haven't seen it, it sounds a little trite and redundant and repetitive to just say 10 out of 10, but it is truly 10 out of 10. It is epic black cinema. It is seminal black cinema. Of course, we all love Ryan from the Black Panther series, from Fruitvale Station. Did I say the Black Panther movies? Fruitvale Station, the Creed series. One of my youngest daughters. My youngest daughter is one of her personal favorites. Um, and I knew it was going to be a wonderful movie, but I was a little hesitant at first because, like I said, I do not like horror and I do not like gore. Like the way my spirit is set up and who I am as a person, like I can't really be doing a lot of watching visually of things that are just kind of horrific and scary, like no matter how artistic. That's really very hard for me. But the second I knew it was set in Mississippi. And the second I saw the two characters and like the juxtaposition, I was like, oh, and then somebody said something about Hoodoo. Hello. Thank you so much for the Daily Heart. Y'all come on in. Come on in. And y'all, when you first come in, come on, go on up and get your little heart me. It's kind of like saying hi to the host. And I love it when y'all come in and say, hey, because I am a Mississippi girl and courtesy means something to me. But and also y'all, seriously, such a great movie, right, Ashley? And if you are from Mississippi or you have near relations from Mississippi, please tell me where y'all are from. I claim my home state so hard. I always have my whole life. Like something has always told me that being from Mississippi is a special thing. Is a special thing. And that's even after I got old enough to realize, oh my gosh, people talk bad about us. And I'm like, oh my God. Like there are actually things that like rank us as states in the country. And we are all the way like, oh my. And so I always say like Mississippi, yeah, like it has ghosts all over it. It is the deepest, darkest of the deep South. And y'all, when I tell you, the reason I say it hits differently, it hits differently, I think, for us from Mississippi. And if you're from Mississippi, you know anybody from Mississippi that you think would love to get in on this conversation, please share the live out to them and say, we're talking about Mississippi stuff. Like, come on in. Like, come on in, because this movie means something very special. I think it means so much to us from Mississippi for so many different reasons. And y'all, I claim where I'm from so hard. And I'm a world traveler. I was blessed somehow to have this mom that was, oh, thank you. You all, thank you for the roses. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it. And y'all, thank you for keeping the little hearts going and the little tap tap tapping. I appreciate it so very much. It just, lets the algorithm kind of know we're live and we're kicking in here and we're having a conversation. And I'm so excited to finally talk about it because it took me so long to finally get to the theaters and see it. I haven't seen it in IMAX yet. I obviously recommend that you go see it. Sinners, the new amazing as far as I'm concerned, groundbreaking seminal black cinema, original theater going, created by Ryan Coogler, who we know and love, but who I think we can all accept now as a bit of a genius. as our next coming of Spike Lee, as far as I'm concerned. And this collaboration between him and the fine for absolutely no reason Michael B. Jordan, like that man is handsome and fine in ways that just don't even make sense, really. Their collaboration, you can tell it's going to be, what are people call it? What are they comparing it to? They're comparing it to Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Like they're saying it's going to be that kind of that kind of a pairing and that kind of partnership and a relationship. And I shared this the other night. There is something about Ryan Coogler's voice. Like my Venus is in Gemini, which means in addition to your sun, moon, and your rising, right? Like your sun sign kind of tells you like what's your job, your moon sign, your deep connection to the mother, like that relationship to the moon, the things that kind of motivate you deeply, subconsciously, emotionally, and then like your rising sign. But there's your Venus sign. What do you value? What is alluring to you, exciting, romantic? And wit and intelligent, the sound of somebody's voice, is very that's something that I like very, very much. Like if I like the sound of your voice, the way, like, I'm a podcaster. The name of my podcast is the Hey It's Halicue podcast. It's for Black women of the 92% by a Black woman of the 92%. So I'd love for you to listen to it and to check it out. But my Venus is in Gemini. So I love a beautiful voice, and I love a beautiful voice telling a story. And when I tell you, oh my goodness. And when I tell you that I could listen to Ryan Coogler talk like all day. Like I could listen to him. I could truly listen to him talk about anything all day. And the way he would talk about this film and the nerdy, like the just clearly the artist and the visionary and the film geek that he is, like, talking about the different millimeter of film and how he shot it. And so I remember thinking, like, okay, now this is set in Mississippi and I'm gonna go see it. But like how you know, how much cinematography can you do in Mississippi for real? Like seriously for real, and especially the Delta, because the Delta, it's flat. As you're driving along the highway in the Delta, you can see for miles. Like you can literally see for miles because there's nothing but the flatness of the fields and the soybean and the cotton, and you can just see, like, sometimes in emergency when they were training at some of the like the like some of the camps, like Camp Shelby outside of Hattiesburg, like they would literally sometimes in case of emergency they have landed planes on the highway, like going through the Delta, because there's like it's just really nothing out there. So I was like, what the hell is Ryan Coogler gonna do as far as cinematography with like Mississippi? And when I tell you, I was literally about to cry from the moment it got started. And so obviously tons of spoilers. So just spoiler alert, like off top. I'm sorry. And just, just a quick little synopsis. Sinners, again, is directed by Ryan Coogler. It's a spiritual horror drama that it's set in the Mississippi Delta. Again, your girl was born in the Delta, Greenwood, Mississippi, outside of Sidon Plantation, and it follows the story of Sammy, a young blues prodigy, a preacher boy, aka Sammy, a young blues prodigy, and he's caught up in a battle between the church and the juke joint. Um, and one of the most beautiful themes, and we're going to talk about it, is just that concept of music, Black people as and Native and Indigenous people too, because the Choctaw Nation is also plays a pivotal role too. My grandmother was born outside of the Choctaw Reservation in Philadelphia, Mississippi. My grandma Halicue. So you could just see everything. This movie had everything. This movie had everything a Black girl like me um, coming from where I'm from. They made it look so beautiful. Ashley said, yes, they made it look so beautiful. They literally made the Delta and made cotton fields and sharecropping shacks, which are sad, y'all, and bare. I don't know if y'all have ever seen actual film and video and cameras of what they were, y'all. The Delta in the poorest places was a sad, sad place. Like my mom was very, very, very sad, like apparently living there. And I have to imagine it was one of the reasons she and my dad moved to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which was more of a university town, for my dad to start his law practice. But that is that's the real battle. That battle over Sammy and his raw power between the church and the juke joint, right? Like between like salvation and seduction, the gift and the curse. There's tons of folk magic realism in the form of hoodoo, which is an African traditional religion and spiritual practice. And so just to give you just a brief idea of like where hoodoo fits in African traditional religions. So we have our ancestors that were, our enslaved ancestors that were stolen from the west coast of Africa. My people, like my folks, in particular, like most Black people in the United States, like our people come from West Africa. So they come from Nigeria, they come from Ghana, from Benin. And those are the places like my ancestors come from. But anyway, so of course, our enslaved ancestors, as much as they could, brought as much of their spirituality and their medicine and their practice with them. Like even the herbs that they needed for medicine were, we kept in our hair, like during the horrific, horrific, horrific Middle Passage. And wherever we were taken off these ships and sold as chattel, our spirituality turned into something different. So in Brazil, it's condomble. In Cuba, it's Cuba, Puerto Rico is Santeria, La Regla, Lucumi, Ifa, Palo, and going on into the United States. Oh, and also in Haiti, obviously, Vodou, and in New Orleans, it turned into New Orleans voodoo, and then scattered throughout the rest of the American South, and then with the diaspora going to different places like Memphis, Detroit, Chicago, even in LA, there is hoodoo, right? And a lot of hoodoo our practices still come out of the Black church. It's quite complicated. As far as I'm concerned, it's a closed practice. It's a part of my spiritual practice as a Black woman from Southern Mississippi, even though I was brought up in the church. I deconstruct from the church. And my spiritual path and my spiritual practice is more ancestral. And again, hoodoo is a very, very, very prominent and beautifully represented in the movie as well, right? So the movie also includes magical realism, ancestral spirits, hoodoo, church rituals, the crossroads. It is not in any way, let me check out some of these messages here. Thank you all so much for coming in. Oh my gosh, and getting a like. Y'all have already got us up to almost, look at that. Y'all almost have us up to like 2,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. Now that sticker will not stay still. Stay still, sticker. Thank you guys for coming on in, and please chime in. Somebody said my grandmother's parents were sharecroppers. She said she'd never go back. And I have to tell you, that's another thing. As somebody that left Mississippi, and I mean, I'm telling you, one of the reasons I even went to the college that I went to, it was Dartmouth College. I was trying to get as far away from Mississippi as humanly possible. And I grew up in a very what anybody would call a privileged background. I did. Like my parents were attorneys, my grandparents were educators, they own land. I mean, um, but Mississippi is a haunted, dark, scary, beautiful place full of some of the most beautiful people. Our way in Mississippi is so beautiful, so deep and complicated. It's hard to even know how to talk about it. I'm going to do the best that I can. So that's who I'm coming to us tonight as. I'm coming to us is like Halicue, Black girl from Southern Mississippi, Black girl who, and also y'all, I didn't know Ryan Coogler had like people from Mississippi. I should have known. I should have known because of, thank you. Hello. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for coming. Is that Linus? Is that Linus? Yes, that is. Hey, Linus, how are you? Come on in. And thank you for going up there and getting your daily heart me, y'all. When you come on in, say hey, say good evening. We're talking about the movies. We're talking about the movie Sinners and what and how I viewed it. We're going to talk about it through the lens of me, a black woman from a black woman from Southern Mississippi, who herself is a bougie hoodoo. Whose spirituality I saw very beautifully reflected in this amazing, amazing movie. And I think there's so many things about it that are so clever. Again, like I can only describe my home state as dark, beautiful, complicated. I ran away from it to some degree. That's why I ran all the way off to Dartmouth College to like Hanover, New Hampshire. Um, but like we leave it. It's painful to leave. That's one of the things Sammy, one of the main character, the beautiful guitarist and singer who's one of the main characters of the movie, um, um, and that the movie is centered around, when and I remember this so much as a girl. Now, the church I grew up in was the Presbyterian church. Like, it was a little Presbyterian church, but at the same time, I also consider myself as almost a member of my grandmother's church, which was a Southern Baptist church. Nope, not on Netflix, y'all. It is in theaters. Sinners, an original film by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. And it is set in Mississippi, and that's one of the things I want to talk about first because I'm a Black woman from Southern Mississippi. And yeah, to some degree, do we run away because y'all literally, and sharecropping is central to it, and the way that sharecropping was still basically slavery. The two brothers, Smoke and Stack, played by Michael B. Jordan, who again is just ridiculously talented and good looking for no good reason. The brothers grew up in Clarksdale, Mississippi. They're badass. They are dangerous. They're soldiers. They go off to fight in World War I, and then they're involved in spoilers all through this. So just spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert. And they work in organized crime as hired guns, and they end up. We see them as they arrive back in Clarksdale, Mississippi, with a mysterious truck full of Irish beer and Italian wine, the inference, and with some of the assets that the movie has on Instagram and on the website and all that. We can infer that, oh, did they steal this from when they were working as bootleggers or working with like Al Capone? They come down with tons of money, and they want to open a juke joint and have a little bit of quiet and a little bit of safety doing what they know they do. And what we know and what we infer from the movie is they've been and done just about everything, robbing trains, banks, whatever. So we know they bad the second they get there, which in and of itself, considering the history that Mississippi has around its horrible, horrible, horrible legacy of Jim Crow and lynching, just the idea of these two strong, beautiful, unbelievably sexy, like charismatic, um, Black men playing polar opposites, but deeply connected to the fact that they're twins. Just he's gonna be nominated. He's got to be nominated for the way he plays. Michael B. Jordan plays so beautifully with himself off of the other character is the other brother. The way they move and work is an absolute sync. And one of the things that I love so much is the way they tell each other they love each other and show each other they love each other in a way that we don't always see men, and particularly Black men, portrayed. Yes, like Ashley says at one point, you really forget it's two people. You really, really, really do forget it's two people. You're absolutely correct, Ashley. And thank you so much for liking the live and sending it out. Thank you all so much. Um, he does an amazing, amazing job. And the reason I want to talk about my own feelings about Mississippi and how much I love it and how beautiful I think it was, it's hard for me to discuss like why and how I think Mississippi is beautiful. One of the only ways that the landscape I'm even able to describe it as beautiful is that Mississippi is full, especially in the summer and in spring, it's full of evil green. Just it's very verdant. It's almost like a tropical climate, but it's very flat. The dirt is blood red. The trees are kind of these unforgiving, deep piney wood pine trees. Um, but you don't normally think of it as a beautiful landscape. You may see a beautiful sunset, but it's not the kind of landscape that people would normally describe as beautiful, and certainly not in the Delta. But like the way Ryan Coogler captured it, yeah, it was insanely beautiful. The way he was really able to capture from the moment the camera zooms in, just feels and feels and feels and acres and acres of the cotton fields and our people moving through them, like in their bare feet, like, you know, it was so beautiful. Thanks, Tam, because I don't do scary. Yeah, I don't do scary either. I don't do scary either. I was actually quite stressed out the same way I was stressed out about Beyonce doing a country album because I was like, I didn't really F with country music until Beyonce took me through the education of knowing that country music, like everything else, comes from the blues. I don't do horror movies. I just don't do them the way my spirit is set up. But it is so beautiful. It's almost, and it's not a very long movie. You know how movies be making you sit through like 2.5 and 3 hours? It's not long. And so there's so much buildup and character development of the Smokestack Brothers, and the church that Sammy comes from. He's called Preacher Boy. He's a guitarist and an unbelievably beautiful singer, and of course, son of a preacher. Um, and y'all, just going into another thing that was so important and so moving, the way the film honored African traditional religions and specifically Hoodoo without watering them down, paying homage to them, paying homage to the beautiful character of Annie that was played by, let me see if I have, I thought I pulled some of that up. Annie was played by Wunmi Mosaku. Beautiful. Like, I don't know if y'all remember her from Lovecraft Country. She played the character who would transform from a cocoon. Wunmi. Am I saying it right? Wunmi? 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 She is so beautiful, like at that gorgeous, like at the end of the movie, my husband was like, he's like, she was in that. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She was in Lovecraft Country. He was like, hun, her face is so beautiful. Why is her face so beautiful? Like, how would you describe it? And I was like, I like black, beautiful, talented. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Look like she's carved out of like, oh, she looks like a mahogany statue come to life. She's just so beautiful. And she played that role with so much dignity and beauty. I don't even want to get into the silly conversation that people were like, people didn't immediately understand. There's some chit chatter that people didn't immediately understand that that was supposed to be Smoke, I believe's like love interest. And they were like, at first, who is this auntie? No, she's beautiful and she's buxom and she is what we would have called down home like a real woman. That's the way a woman's supposed to be shaped. Like where I'm from, or the way like I grew up in Mississippi. This was way before BBLs. This was the bad bitches. Like the bad bitches looked like Annie. Her role was so beautiful, and she was all her and Smoke were almost always wearing this beautiful cerulean indigo blue, which if anybody that's into color magic, candle magic, indicates something noble, something holy, something sacred. Grandma say she got a woman's body. Exactly. Exactly. Let me give you an example. These people don't pay me, but I'm a dancer. Y'all know I'm a dancer. So I especially love this, like the idea of music and dance and being able to and revelry and being in community with each other and singing and dancing and wailing to the point to where it opens up a portal and somebody like Sammy is able to conjure up like spirits. But oops, her woman's body. Oh, so as I was saying, regarding a woman's body. So I'm a dancer. Another reason I love the movie. Um, and what I normally mainly wear for my dance wear is Athleta. And somebody asked me once, like, why don't I wear like I've never seen you in any Lululemon. I don't wear Lululemon for lots of reasons, but my main reason is because I need workout clothes for a woman's body. I am not some little girl. I am not some stick figure. I need supports. Okay. And Athleta makes workout clothes for a woman's body, like where I need it. I am somebody's mother twice over. So exactly a woman's body. But it honors Hoodoo and through the character Annie, who got everybody through, who was the true strength and the real wisdom. She truly was beauty and wisdom. When I tell you, like just high priestess energy, oh, she was so beautiful. And speaking of if any of y'all have tarot cards, go look at the high priestess and see what you see, especially if you saw the movie, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the similarities between that card, the high priestess, and the cost, like Annie's costume and the colors and the way she was presented, the style of her hair, everything about her said a woman that is deeply connected to and spiritually connected to and married to the land that she's on, but also who you can see in her face, in her hair, in her skin, even in the way she talked. She had this lilt that wasn't exactly Mississippi. It sounded to me a little Louisiana. And in her hair and just in the noble turn of her face made you think of Africa, like made you think of our ancestors. Everything about her, even as intoxicating as her beauty was, and the scene of like Annie throwing the bones, like just everything. What were some other things that we would associate with it's kind of like common knowledge, like mojo bags, the strength of the mojo bag, like Toby's. Um, oh my goodness, and just her wisdom, the kind of wisdom that you can't read about in books, but has to be passed down verbally. As a person, as a woman that is a hoodoo, I just have to tell you, I felt so honored and just represented, and she was just so beautiful. She was so beautiful. So if you are interested in um African traditional religions, a lot of black women, modern black women, are deconstructing from the church and going back to more ancestral spiritual practices, but who still maybe were grew up in the church, because I don't have church hurt, but yeah, my spirituality went deeper. Ancestors called and told me this is the way, this is the way I'm supposed to go. And so a lot of us, I think, are going through that, or at least want to understand it or explore it. And if you are a black person with roots in Mississippi and from down south, it's something you should probably research and investigate anyway, to further to understand who you are and where you come from, because there's so much of what we do in everyday life that is ritual, that does, like that does call back to the spiritual practices that came over with our enslaved ancestors. And Ashley says, I love that they chose her. They chose wisdom. Yes, Annie in so many ways represented wisdom, tradition, the mother, and the protectress. She was so beautiful in their love story. When these men confessed their love to the two women in their life, it was very exciting. That's all I'll say. It was very it was very exciting for lots of reasons. Woo, my goodness, and the love and the intimacy and the heat, that part was very well represented as well. It was really delicious. It was just a big old gumbo. It was so good. Something else that meant so much and resonated so much with me. I was crying for like most of the movie. It's probably a little bit embarrassing. You all, thank you so much, because I have this sticker. It's kind of hard for me to be checking the comments. I end up moving the sticker all over the place. And let me see if I can. Yeah, it keeps moving. It won't let me check comments, but I'm gonna try really hard. Let me check some of the messages. I love Annie and Smoke's relationship, true love. And I don't know if y'all saw on another app, they dropped all of these beautiful pictures and visuals, and there was this little tableau of pictures with Smoke and Annie, and she's shaving him with like a razor. He's like holding a gun, and they just look so beautiful in this period costume. To me, it did. It felt like it was a love letter to Mississippi, not just because of the representation of hoodoo, not just because it beautifully captured like Mississippi's kind of dark, sad past, but also because of the way it captured, again, the Delta. And like that's where I was born. I never got to spend too much time there because my mom literally died, from what I understand, like really did not like it. But about 7 or 8 years ago, my husband decided, we spent so much time when we would travel back and forth from London in New England, like seeing like where his family was from. We went to my family like in Mississippi all the time, but we didn't really do things and go out and see and investigate history. Normally, I'm just spending time with my sisters and spending time with my family. Everybody wants to see the kids. And so he's like, what if we do? Our kids and my oldest had become very, very talented with soccer. And we're like, he's like, I guess Southern Living, one of the only two magazines that are actually delivered to my house. Most of the media I consume is digital, but the only magazines that I actually have that come in paper form to my house are Vanity Fair and Southern Living, like Southern Living magazine. And so in Southern Living magazine, every year there's a best of the South. So my husband took the best of the South and planned this like driving tour. We went to Mississippi and we were going to go to all the schools. We were going to go to Tuskegee. We were going to go to, Alabama. We're going to show my daughter all around. He booked the best hotels. He's like, we're going to go through the Delta. We're going to do everything. Also, I don't know if y'all know, but like Viking stove is corporate headquarters is in Mississippi. In Greenwood, Mississippi, they have this beautiful hotel. They do cooking classes. Like one of my dreams was always to have a Viking stove. Like I have no desire to have like a wolf stove or anything fancier because I'm like, no, I'm a Mississippi girl and Vikings are Vikings are made in Mississippi, and a Viking stove is good enough for me. So he just did this beautiful tour, and that's when I was able to really show my daughters, like, this is where mommy, like this is where mommy was born. I was like, where Nana lives in Hattiesburg is like the city compared to like out in the Delta. And I do have these beautiful pictures of my daughters in the cotton flowers because cotton is flowers before it turns into the bowl. And it's uniquely beautiful and it was uniquely poverty stricken. Like that's where sharecropping took place. And it was uniquely sad. And it was that horrible system of sharecropping where people weren't even paid in real wages, which was something that was discussed in the movie. You would get paid with like the plantation money that you could then go turn in for goods and things at like the plantation store. And so basically it was a system that kept the black people that were basically still enslaved there in this crippling debt. People would sometimes have to, in order to just have to survive, or some hope of a future, you would have to like leave in the cover of night, like you would have to leave in the cover of night. So that's something that's also addressed and shown in the movie. And y'all, I just want to say Clarksdale, I don't purport to be a blues scholar. I'm not. I can't pretend to, except the blues is in my bones because I'm a black girl from Mississippi. My dad lived in Clarksdale for a little while, and I even thought like the setting of the town in Clarksdale, because we get to see the town. They do an excellent job of showing, yeah, white people got their groceries over there and black people got their groceries over there. And the Chinese community was able to have a store on both sides, and they kind of walked in between the worlds, not in any way accepted into white culture, but at the same time, still to some degree wanting to hold themselves separate from black culture too. The character, y'all, if when you go see it, you're gonna check out Grace Chow. She plays a pivotal part in bringing in the enemy. Oh my gosh, there's so many wonderful aspects, but they did a brilliant job. Um, Laying out Clarksdale as a city of the crossroads. The whole story of Sammy was like, they say it is based on a famous blues guitarist who supposedly went down and sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads, which, as far as I'm concerned, is really kind of a perversion of what it actually is. Like, like some people say it actually, is Papa Legba, and it wasn't so much selling your soul as entreating and asking to have that gate open, because some people say that Papa Legba uh is um is a reworking of the idea of Elegua, who carries a cane and uses it to open the cattle gate. So the idea of the crossroads, opening the roads, and asking a deity to open the road or to do an exchange at the road, was beautifully shown, and does. And this is the I don't know if you all remember seeing the movie. There was a movie called Crossroads with like Ralph Macchio. My grandmother used to love that movie. I think we saw it all the time when I was a kid. I'm sure I've seen that movie at least 10 times. But it just, it's about the history of Robert Johnson, and it's blues mythology. It's African traditional religion, um and spiritual practice, storytelling, and mythology. Oh my goodness. And so here's a quote. Oh, there's an interesting quote. They say he sold his soul for music, but sinners ask, and the movie ask, who owns the soul, to begin with? Because you do definitely get the feeling or the idea in the Sinners movie again. And hey, y'all, let me reintroduce myself. I'm Halicue. Tonight, I've just had this on my spirit. I've needed to get on here, and I've needed to talk about the movie Sinners. It's just been it's been on my heart and on my spirit for weeks. It took me a week after it first came out to actually be able to go see it, and it resonated so deeply with me. As just a black woman from Southern Mississippi, there's some things about the movie I felt that I was like, I don't know who else can talk about this more than black people from Mississippi. So I wanted to get on here and talk about it, share my feelings and my thoughts about it, because To say that it resonated is such an understatement, but it just called out to me and it felt like a love letter. And when I think about love letters and people writing love letters to us, especially to Black people, I feel like Ryan Coogler definitely wrote a love letter to the Black woman and the spectrum of what it was like to be a Black woman, real polar opposites, right? Like we think of the two love interests, we think of two brothers as opposites that work together like in harmony, and Mary and Annie is like their love interest with two very disparate experiences as Black women with ancestral lineage that goes back to Africa, however faint and diluted it was on Mary's side. But the idea of music and how that music does conjure spirits. It makes things happen. It can break open and push back the veil. Sinners the book, no, Sinners the movie. You couldn't leave. Let me see. I just seen Sinners movie yesterday and loved it. So what we discussing about it? Everything, Tori, everything. First, we went over about its depiction of the Delta, Clarksdale, um, African traditional religion, spirituality, specifically hoodoo. And now we're talking about the music is and spiritual warfare, because the power of the singer and the artist, and how to me it felt as though Sammy was being fought over. Like it was as though if we think of magic, not magic, or music, and the deep artistic and musical power and creativity of Black people being the playing field, and the two teams that are playing for control of the field are the church and the streets, right? Like the altar and the pulpit and the juke joint, and there's poor Sammy in the middle, and they're like both teams are trying to recruit him. This entire movie is alive with sound. It is not a musical, but it was unbelievably beautiful, and it was a exploration in the idea of music being the way that the spirits speak and the spirits move. um and what is Sammy's power? Where does it come from? Is it a gift from the ancestors? Is it a curse from the devil? um it was his musical weapon, and if it is a weapon, then that means the war is spiritual, right? Like between the church and the streets. And that was definitely, and definitely it was dang near musical. It was beautiful. The music was great. It was. You are so right. Thank you all so much, Jay Best. Oh my gosh, and thank you all for still keeping the hearts going. I appreciate that. Look at us. We're at 6,000 hearts, like barely trying. Between the church and the vampires, we're asking the same of Sammy. They both were trying to claim this beautiful power and spirit. And y'all, just as a dancer, let me tell you, yeah, something happens to some of us when we are dancing. I'll never forget. I study Afro-Brazilian and Afro-Cuban dance, and I'll never forget studying palo, which is very beautiful, and it feels like its origin is Bantu, and it's just so beautiful. And y'all, something happened to me. Like there've been times like when I'm dancing, like something happens, and thank goodness for my instructors who once was like, it's okay, it's okay, she's okay, she's having ocha, she's experiencing something. So when we got to that scene, that beautiful scene, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, Sammy is so powerful. And somebody like Sammy is called different things in different traditions. They go over it like at the beginning of the movie. But Sammy, he finally gets away from his church and his dad, and his he works in the field. He did everything he's supposed to do. And he just is he's gonna play in juke joint for the opening night of the Smokestacks brothers, opening night of their juke joint. And he is so gifted. His song is so powerful, um, that he's able to conjure spirits, and he's able to conjure spirits of the future of music and the past of music, where it comes from. And it's one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen. I cried the whole time. I cried leading up to it. Like I knew that night, I knew, you kind of know everything that's happening. Also, I'm neurodivergent, y'all. So I hadn't seen the movie. I want to make sure I have all kinds of incense and candles going in here. I want to make sure I don't burn things down. That's like my husband, his only requirement. He's like, I know you love burning the candles. He's like, just please don't burn our house down. So y'all forgive me as I just want to take a look and make sure we're good. That scene that we all saw over and over, and I had to make sure, um like I wanted to see the movie the second I got back from Europe, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to because jet lag was messing with me. I was like sleeping and ready to go to bed at 7 o'clock. But I'm the kind of person that things can't, and I don't know if it's being neurodivergent, but like things can't be spoiled for me. I could literally see I could see, I can see every spoiler. I can know the whole plot. And when I go sit down to see that movie, knowing everything I know, having seen everything I've seen, because y'all put everything on Beyonce's internet, so there was no way to escape it. So I knew that scene was coming, but nothing prepared me for seeing it in the theater. Nothing prepared me. Cried like a baby. Uh, whole time. It was unbelievably beautiful. And I just remember that so much because in the 80s, even in the 80s, growing up, because I'm Gen X, the way the grown-ups vilified and talked about our music. Like they said the craziest things about hip hop, like about hip hop and how it was bad for us and that was the devil's music and it was ignorant. Hold on, between the church and the vampires. Yeah, we're asking the same as Sammy. Dang near musical. Let me see what else I see here. I loved it. It really was spiritual. You are absolutely correct. It absolutely was. You are right. It absolutely was. Um and I do remember that, like that battle between the church and the street. You could not be, like you could not be both. And the upbringing I had was so strict too. I really felt for Sammy. I truly did. Oh, and I was like, oh, we even have the tragic mulatto trope. I was like, this movie has every. I was like, this movie has everything. Even a problematic, weird face, light skinned woman. I was like, woo! I was like, we stay taking L's, man. Y'all remember? Isn't that what Cat Williams called us? You remember when Cat Williams was in that interview and he was like, and every comedian gets a weird face, light skinned wife. And I was like, and here we show up for work in this movie, causing problems and like confusing things. Um, so obviously the skin explores identity, like what it means to be black, passing duality, the idea of being enough and not enough. Like Nella Larson's passing was all over this. The character Mary, what's her name? What's the girl's name that y'all are all in love with? And everybody's like, what? She got what? Haley Steinfeld. I mean, she doesn't play tragic mulatto. It's more like a tragic, like Octoroon or whatever, but she was a part of the twins' upbringing. She and Stack have something very hot and exciting going. Wait, did we catch how Mary was like the gateway in? Yes. Yes, because of her phenotype and her proximity to whiteness, she decides to go out there and see if the vampires that are out there actually have any money. And of course, you know, she just she asked, and this is also another wonderful thing I thought, y'all. Um, and it's not that deep, and I know other people have talked about it, but it is deep. And it's this concept of vampirism. I just think the vampire trope is an excellent way to talk about racism. Oh, somebody says we've got to learn. They're with us because the group said no and Mary said yes, exactly, and didn't know and just let her cruise right the heck back on in. But I have to say, she and Stack again. Spoiler alert. They basically set up a room in hell next to each other, and like it just took off to play their vampire games together for eternity. But I thought the most brilliant thing about the movie, and again, I don't like horror, but when we use vampirism and that trope to explore racism, it is brilliant because I have always felt, and I still posit, that racism and white supremacy is a form of vampirism, a form of Toni Morrison talks about this. Like I love that. I mean, spoke about this. God rest her. Oh God. Every now and then, I remember that man in the White House is still alive and Toni Morrison is gone, and it makes me very upset. But she would talk about like racism is and white supremacy is like a form of distraction, a way to keep us distracted. The way that stunt queen that lives on Pennsylvania Avenue uses us and demonizing us, threatening us, vilifying us, as a way to deflect from when he's effing up in other aspects, like tanking the economy, and making decisions that basically keep us all in peril. Whenever he's really messing up and the people that voted for him start paying attention to the fact of how bad he's messing up, it's almost always turn this way and oppress Black people even more. Because still got to keep, like, gotta get, first of all, have to keep us tired, afraid, angst ridden, exhausted, terrified, shrunk down, um, out of our happiness, out of our joy, out of our creativity. Ah, thank you for the lights, Sonia. Aren't those pretty? I chose those today. It's Thank you. I think they're so pretty. I think they're so pretty. Thank you so much. That and so and using vampirism in that way, I just thought was brilliant. Like the same with something like microaggressions. I'm going to be making a video about that tomorrow because there's some with the Unfuck America tour. There's some drama about some, like palm covered women being microaggressive. Again, energetic vampirism. I think that microaggressions, especially when they're being thrown at us by white women, it's kind of like energetic vampirism, a way to, and it's a superpower that they have, especially women, like palm colored women. They're brilliant at it. Like it's a kind of spiritual warfare and energetic warfare that they're brilliant at. And it feels sucking, it feels leeching. Oh, that sounded like, oh, it's my husband here. Oh my gosh, my husband watching basketball. I was like, who the hell is that? But that's what it is. It's vampiric. It's sucking, like sucking at our lifeblood slowly, keeping us drained, keeping us unable to live like in the fullness of who we are, experiencing all human oppression. Because apparently it's very important that we stay that way. If they can't keep us in chains, they have to keep us sick, they have to keep us poor, they have to keep us uneducated, and they have to keep us emotionally and physically drained. So I thought the idea of that in this movie is just brilliant. It was so brilliant. It was an excellent lesson in what, and y'all know I'm a thought leader and I'm a content creator for Black women of the 92%. That's why I create my podcast. The same way I feel like Ryan Coogler created this movie. And to me, it felt like a love letter to Mississippi and the most beautiful things about us and Black culture, and culture that basically permeates every aspect of this country, came out of the deepest, darkest of the South, the part of the South that is the most blood and sweat soaked. And my sister and I were just talking about this the other night. Like, thank you so much thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you, thank you. There is something when you are from Mississippi, and especially if you have decided to live far away from Mississippi. It's another reason this touched me. Ryan Coogler is from the Bay Area. He has people from Mississippi. I live in the Bay Area. And obviously all my people, except for my sisters, basically, are still back in Mississippi. There is something, I think, so much slavery was so much deadlier. Like, I don't know, yeah, one of the things they used to say was, "Now you act right, or you gonna get sold down south." That meant if you were like just the further north you were, or if you were in Louisiana, but if you're and further north, the better things were for you. When they would threaten to sell your ass down south, they were threatening to sell you down away from the rice, away from the indigo, down to like to cotton country down in Mississippi and Alabama. And it was just worse there. Everything about slavery, and I remember taking this class actually at the extension school at Harvard. It was about American slavery. It was one of the hardest classes I've ever taken. Shit was just where if you were a slave, no matter where you were, things were unbelievably barbaric and horrible, but they were even 10 times worse in a place like Mississippi. Much less, the lynchings of the Jim Crow era. Mississippi burning was, people say a lot of things were exaggerated, but in a lot of ways things were not. It is one of the most blood soaked parts of the American South. And so it's in your blood. The Mississippi calls to you. The further I travel, and I've lived as far away as the United Kingdom for like almost 7 years. The further away I move from Mississippi, the harder it pulls on me. The more directly it pulls on me. For lots of reasons, I don't get to go home that often, but I have to go home at least once a year because I'm literally not at peace in my mind because the ancestors and the blood and the soil gets there. And when I'm there, I'm better. I heal a little bit. I realize I'm grateful for how I came into the world when I came into the world. How in Mississippi, even as tragic and as scary as my upbringing was, like who I take Mississippi with me everywhere I go, and it is very, very, very rare that you see in a movie, in a film that speaks to so much of who you are as a person walking this earth. So many people talk bad about us, right? Like they just do, because we have a lot of ghosts there, and it is dark there, and the oppressor has done a good job of keeping Black people economically, and especially when it comes to our power to vote, because Mississippi is almost a 50-50. It's almost like a 50-50 state, yet we don't have the political power we should have in Mississippi. We just don't. We never have. They have fixed the game that well down there. And so it's dark and it's sad and it's scary and it's beautiful. And the blues came out of there. And from that, everything musical and cultural, like who we are as Black people, as expressed and developed through our music. So it was just a wonderful movie. And also, the thing that one of the things that struck me too about the movie that I enjoyed so much, and I just felt like it felt different, and trying to take control of Jackson. I wish they would. My God, Jackson is so like Jackson, I know Jackson very well. My mom has to, just when your parents are lawyers, you have to be in Jackson all the time. Also, Jackson was where the fancy Blacks were. That's where Jack and Jill was in Jackson. The cotillion happened, the cotillion like happened there. Yeah, and I got folks from Mississippi and Louisiana. Right on, right on. Hey, y'all. So, y'all, we're talking about the Sinners movie. I'm a Black girl from Southern Mississippi when I'm not podcasting about Black women in the 92%. The name of my podcast is the Hey, It's Halicue podcast. Please listen to it. A new episode is going to be dropping this Thursday. It's about Black women, and 92% is riding out this crazy storm that we're going to be riding out during this insane administration over the next 4 years. Things are about to start getting spicy, and it's where it's where I go to entertain, inspire, and sometimes keep us informed. Us, Black women of the 92%. Why do I call us the 92%? Because we are the ones that showed up in full force to vote for progress and equity and basically democracy and everybody's rights. Black women, that's us. I think we really identified ourselves as very special in this last election. The one group of all the groups in this country that can be trusted with big decisions and making the right choice. It's probably because we're one of the most educated and most entrepreneurial demographics in this country. A country that, as we see, as portrayed in the movie Sinners, ain't never wanted us to participate in any of this. Would have kept us on the plantation, in them sharecropping houses, and in their kitchens as long as they possibly could. It kind of shows the way in which white people became dependent upon our emotional and physical labor. Yeah. So Coogler got a lot of things right in that movie. Oh, shopping set. Wait. Come on back. Sonia, thank you. I love that thing that the concern with Michael B. Jordan, not really big fan of Black women, not sure if true. Doesn't matter. Because I tell you what, but you know what? Say that's true. Say it's true. Say that's true. Because the someone this is okay, let me just explain to people because I forget we're streaming to lots of different services. There is some talk and there's been some talk in the atmosphere that Michael B. Jordan technically does not care. Like we are not his preference. Like Black women are not his preference. I don't know though. As long as you respect the fact that that we make up that we support you, like we're the ones that are that are kind of behind your career, the way Denzel, I always felt like, showed us as Black women respect. You don't never know what's going on in anybody's marriage. You never know what's going on in anybody's marriage. But I don't know, I feel like Denzel and Samuel L. Jackson, I always kind of felt like I like it seems like they honor and they respect their wives. We don't know with Michael B. Jordan. We have no idea. But y'all, times are changing. Things are different. I'm the mom of black biracials. I mean, things are different. And black women, there was a when black women when we felt more restricted in our ability to date, maybe. And I have to tell you, black men, or at least the ones that are in the zeitgeist or in kind of in public life, or I think we get to do whatever the hell we want. So I don't know. All I know is that I take that back. I do know. Whatever whoever he decides he wants to love, I don't know. I enjoyed the way he played this role. I think those two characters, Annie and Smoke, were my absolute like favorite, most beautiful, loving pair. And I don't know. I think he's pretty respectful and loving of black women. I mean, Lori Harvey certainly walked him like a dog, walk him like a dog. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that very much. Do you remember when she broke up with him? And then he had that sad man mustache. He was like at the Lakers game, like he was sitting, like he was sitting courtside looking sad. Oh, oh my God, I love her so much, if for no other reason than like, yes, ma'am, that's the way to do it. So I don't know, but I have to tell you, I enjoyed this portrayal. My gosh, he was brilliant in this. Um, please, if you haven't seen the movie, go. Ooh, Michael B. Jordan did justice to the twins because I was convinced there were two different brothers. Absolutely. There's this one of the like opening scene where they're handing like a cigarette to each other, even the way like without looking, he hands it to the other brother and he just picks it up and the way they play off of each other. Oh, it was just ridiculously beautiful. What else did I really like? I think one of the most practical messages that we could take from the movie too was about having boundaries and protection and gatekeeping as black people, and especially those of us that are spiritual people, because like again, I my spirituality is ancestral and descends from Africa, and is an African traditional religion and spiritual practice. Hoodoo. I'm a black woman from Mississippi, and that's what I claim spiritually. I don't sell any of that or talk about it really much beyond my podcast with my sister that's called The New Hoodoo. And we kind of talk about like hoodoo futurism and what ancestral spiritual practices for black women look like moving into the future, and what it looks like, because a lot of us are deconstructing from the church. And speaking of deconstructing from the church, there was a spoiler alert. There was a beautiful, beautiful scene. It was a very scary scene where Sammy is fighting for his life and for his soul, like in the water, against Remick, the head vampire that's like from Ireland. And Sammy at one point starts saying the Lord's Prayer, like, like this is gonna save me. And then the vampires start repeating the Lord's Prayer back as if to say these are just words. Like, as if to say these are just worlds. There's no magic in them, but there's magic in you. And that's what we want. And that's what we so it definitely said something to the spirit, and connection to spirit is not in these books. It is not in these that's not what it is. It's like say what they wanted, what Sammy's father, the preacher, and what Remick wanted was divinity and power of spirit that was Sammy's alone, and that was inside, that was the divinity within him. That part was so beautiful. That was so deep. I literally, if I wasn't fully reclining, because the theater we went to, I wanted to go with like the reclining seats, sciatica. I have a very sexy case of sciatica because I'm a dancer. I'm an aging dancer, so I need to like recline. I would have jumped up during that part. When I tell you the honor that they did to what I felt was the portrayal of African traditional spirituality. Oh my gosh, talking about Haint Blue. Like during the movie, I was like, babe, so you remember what Haint Blue is? And my husband was like, do I have to remember it right now? I'm like, yes. Like it's very, very important. It was such a beautiful scene. It was such an excellent, excellent, excellent movie. Um, and it was just, I don't know. I just felt like, could it be the same for other people that aren't from Mississippi? Like, could y'all experience it like the way we experienced it? It was deep. It was that serious, and it is making its money back. Um, I Obviously, Coogler was working on this film for a long time, right? Like, it takes years to make films, but there is something, Black women are the 92%, and what I consider to be this movement, this new political focus and center for Black women that we are going to be a part of, and we're going to be creating for ourselves over the next 4 years. I have always it's not suspected. Our great artists tell us this, and historians tell us this. Great art comes out of political tumult and chaos, and I think this is one of the first big pieces of art, original creation from Black creators that's going to be really groundbreaking and really changes the way we see, do, and look at things. I mean, apparently, the deal that Coogler had with this movie is kind of groundbreaking and very new for Hollywood itself. We know it's powerful. We know it's powerful because of the way these like magazines came out. Like, was a Variety magazine that came out talking about, well, it was a great opening weekend, but it hasn't recouped all of its losses. Like, when people hate on you and hate on powerful Black creators, that's when I'm like, oh, well, we're doing things right. Must be good. Like, must be good. He must have hit this one out of the park because people are hating. Like, people are hating on it. Ooh, let me catch some of these comments, y'all. They keep moving the bar on him because they're afraid of his team. As well, they should be. Oh my God. And he works alongside his wife. I'm telling you, I could listen to this man talk all day. Yo, my grandma was a juke joint owner from Mississippi. The movie hit me hard in the feels. Me too. The juke joint in Hattiesburg was called the Hi Hat Club. And it really, when I was a girl, it really was like, it looked like a very large like shack out in the woods. Now, as the 80s happened and things progressed and changed, like, it became the Hi-Hat 2000, it became more like a club, but it was a juke joint and had been a juke joint for a long time. And I never set my foot in there because I was very strictly brought up and just wasn't no way. And plus, my mom was a public person. She was a judge. Like, ain't no way I could have showed up and like that without it being problems. And I actually tried once, but we turned around because there was a constable there that knew my mom that was at the front door. And we just turned around and left. Oh, it was. Sonia says it was everything and layered with spirituality and symbolism. Duchess of Aries. Hey, Duchess of Aries. Hey, girl. Hey, I hope you had a good Aries season. They keep moving the bar on him because they're scared of him and his team. That is absolutely correct. Um, Oh, he never experienced you guys had a little combo going, never experienced the soulfulness of Sammy's voice. Sammy's voice was amazing, and apparently, was he touring? Apparently, I think he was a gospel prodigy, the actor that played Sammy, his name is, Miles Caton, and I think what I read was that he is a gospel prodigy and that he was working was I think it's her, and she encouraged him to audition, and then when he got the role, he had no idea how big his role was. And I also like the way we got to see different aspects of him in a because so many of our great talents did and still do come out of the church, right? And it was so beautiful. And actually, I thought his dad was quite scary looking, and the way the haircut went. I mean, I'm just saying. Y'all tell me what y'all think when y'all go see the movie. Do you remember seeing the silhouette of the dad and of the father that was the preacher? That haircut looked very looked a little I don't know, I'm not gonna say demonic, but it was interesting. Um oh, I'm so glad you made it in. So nice to catch up with you tonight. Yeah, y'all, thank you for rocking with me and let me talk a little bit about my new favorite movie that I can't stop thinking about. I think about that scene, the conjuring spirits past and present every day. And another reason it called out to me, I it's rare that you when your family is still in Mississippi and you're one of the ones that leave, there is just at least I have felt a great deal of guilt about that in different phases. I don't anymore, obviously, because I'm a grown woman. Mississippi will never leave me, so it doesn't matter how far away I go. But I did used to feel a lot of guilt over leaving and having left, and uh and again, like Sammy, who wanted to who wanted to escape, who wanted to get away, who wanted to do his music, and he ended up eventually, spoiler alert, he ends up like getting away. Yeah, that haircut was like a Dracula haircut. It was very much Blackula. It was giving very much like a vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah, the daddy was very odd. He was very right. Like, he was a little scary, like it was a little It was a little scary looking, but y'all, the cinematography, the locations, the shots were just so beautiful and artistic, and the music is just so haunting. You're gonna love it. Just go ahead and download the soundtrack. Prepare to go see it in theaters. It's not going to be the same experience. How I'm saying this, having already seen it in a theater, planning to go see it in IMAX, and will absolutely buy some DVD hard copy of it because I want to have it. I want to own it physically and not have it be a part of some subscription service that somebody can take away from me. Thank you for coming in and getting your little daily heart me. Oh my gosh, I've had us like 12,000 hearts and we're just having a little conversation. All right, so y'all, that is everything I wanted to chit chat about. I'd love to. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Halfway there to the goal, y'all. Oh my gosh, I did not think we were even going to make it. Thank you so much. I do. Yeah, I want to see it in IMAX. I can only recommend this movie over and over and over. Go see it. Make plans to see it regular if you can. Make plans to go. We need to support Black art and Black artists. It lets people know that we appreciate and we put money behind these stories. Um, he's gonna own the rights to this movie in 25 years. So yeah, and I don't have any problem with like Black nepotism and supporting our artists. Go see it. I feel like personally that it's educational. And it was healing and it was affirming. And oh my gosh, if you are from Mississippi, if you got people from Mississippi, just go see it to see which heartstrings get plucked. Just go see it to see what gets activated in your body and in your soul and in your spirit. Cause it did for me. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't I it's hard for me to understand how somebody like Ryan Coogler is brought up in the Bay Area could connect and portray Mississippi and the beauty and the darkness and the ghostliness of it the way they did as well as they did it. Like it was just brilliant. And it was just a good movie. Again, seminal Black cinema. Seminal Black cinema. All right, y'all. It is time for me to hit the sack. Thank you for letting me come and yap about my new favorite movie for all of the reasons that I just stated. The newest episode of the podcast, it's the Hey, It's Halicue podcast. I'm Halicue. It is, as far as I know, the first and only podcast created for Black women of the 92% by a Black woman of the 92%. It is not just a podcast, it's a community. You can listen to the podcast any place you enjoy podcasts. Spotify. The podcast lives over on Substack, which is where we're also building a beautiful community of bold, brilliant, creative, powerful Black women over on Substack. It's a wonderful place and a very safe place, it feels to me, for Black women to create. The video version of the podcast lives on YouTube. So for those of you that like to listen to my face, you can catch it there and also in YouTube Music. And a new episode is dropping this Thursday. It's about how Black women are not panicking. We're preparing to ride the storm of this insane administration. We're getting serious about it now. And we're doing our best to immediately find peace in the center of this insane storm. So please come support the podcast over on Substack. If you are here tonight and you are not what we would call a member of the 92%, right? Like, if we look at this little piece of paper, since people love labeling us, and this is the 92%, if you're someone that's like, well, that's not really me, but you still rock with Black women and you support Black women's rest and restoration and evolution and our new quiet rebellion and this new political strategy that we're going to be creating over the next 4 years, please come on over and be a part of the community as well. Support the podcast, become a paid subscriber. There are a lot of people that don't exactly know where to fit in or how to support a movement. Trust me when I tell you that when you support and resource Black women, we make the world better. We are always looking out for the collective. We honor the boundaries of our own collective consciousness as Black women. There's something very special that we share together that this movement came out of at the end of the presidential election in 2024. Our shocking disappointment and anger over one of our own being rejected the way she was kind of broke open this portal in space and time where we all decided as a collective Black women were like, y'all got it, we good. Y'all got it. We're taking care of us from now on. Let's see if that changes things. Because trying to drag y'all kicking and screaming to progress is not working. So if this lets anyone know anything, it's that Black women are always doing what's best for everyone. And I think we see that now, right? Barely 100 days into this new administration. And who here was right? Who here was the rightest? Us, Black women of the 92%. That is our community. And while you may not be a part of that particular demographic, come mess with us. Like, yeah, you support us because I promise you, supporting Black women is supporting the greater collective, all of us, the one. So come on over, become a paid subscriber, and just come see what's going on over there on Substack. And enjoy the podcast. I can't wait for the next episode. There's going to be a video version that's going to be up, and also, y'all, I'm posting the best parts of my lives up on YouTube as well. So please come check it out. And I enjoyed our conversation tonight. Thank you so much. If you'd like to see the replay of this, if you know anybody from Mississippi, if you want to share it with them, all you have to do is just, if you want to find me anywhere on social media, you just type in Halicue, Halicue. Halicue. That was another awesome parallel. My grandma Halicue that I'm named after. I'm named after my grandma. This is Grandma Halicue right here. Yes, Grandma. Grandma's no longer with us. She's transitioned, but I keep her right here. I am a namesake. My grandma grew up right outside of like the Choctaw reservation in Philadelphia, Mississippi. There were so many things about this movie that touched my life personally. And again, thank you, Ryan Coogler, for this amazing film. Go see it. Go pay for other Black people to see it. If you see a group of Black teenagers lying around, buy some movie tickets and give it to them. Really, make sure is like make sure our young people go see this movie. Ryan Coogler was just talking about that, about how the difference between like young filmmakers coming up now versus when he was coming up, although he's not, he's definitely younger than me, but he was talking about how in a lot of ways it's going to be really great for young Black filmmakers because you literally with your phone you've got a movie studio in your hand, and that he looks forward to seeing the new talent that's going to be coming out. So go see the film. The movie Sinners, an original film by Ryan Coogler, beautifully acted and starred in by Michael B. Jordan. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie. It's why I named the live tonight. What did I name it? What did I call it, y'all? Blood, Bones, and the Blues. That's it. There you go. It was an amazing film. It was brilliant. And for those of us with ties back to Mississippi, if our hearts are still there in any way, it's gonna touch you like no film has ever touched me. I don't think I've been this rocked since Daughters of the Dust. And that's to us, that's the last time I think I was this rocked by a movie, like something like broke open inside of me, and every part of me as a Black woman, and especially a Black woman from down south, I felt myself represented in a million different ways in this movie. And that's not always easy for Black women from the south, right? Like that doesn't happen for us. That doesn't happen for us all the time. And yeah, it was beautiful. It was brilliant. You all go enjoy it. And thank y'all for letting me talk about it tonight. Thank y'all for letting me go live. So to everybody on Substack, the tube that is you, TikTok, I love y'all like play cousins. Ryan understands how powerful women are. He does indeed. It was a lot of very beautiful, powerful, seductive women in that movie. Like even when it looked like little Janelle Monet, somebody called her Tiana, the princess, the one that wouldn't eat the garlic. You remember the one we were all like, "You are too pretty to get shot because you don't want to eat the garlic. Like, eat the garlic, anime, eat the cake, girl. You better eat that garlic." She was so beautiful, and she was a dancer. Oh my God, Delward Lindo, and a wonderful turn. And he had this one look for this part in the movie where he literally takes the raw pain of memory of horrific wrongs done to his childhood friends, um and it literally turned into music. He showed how in one moment, in 5 seconds, what the blues is all about, taking the pain and anguish in it literally being transmuted into music. That's right. And Sammy named his club after that beautiful girl, Perlene. Her face was insanely beautiful. Like, the way Janelle Monae's face is insanely beautiful and it looks like it's kind of not real. Do you know what I mean? The way she looks like this beautiful Black space robot, like her face is that perfect. That's what Perlene's face looked like. That actress, what is her name? Is it no. Was her name Ruthie? Was that her name, y'all? No, Perlene. You're right, Perlene. You just told me Perlene. Where's Perlene on here? Perlene, where are you, my dear? Why don't I have your name here? I don't know why it's not here on this list. It's IMDb. Anyway, yes, Perlene, Jamie Lawson. Jamie Lawson. Oh, I did not know that scene was improv. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch all the behind the scenes stuff. I um I was having a good time watching all the spoilers and y'all telling us everything about this movie, and y'all are still taking cameras into movie theaters. I have to be honest, like all that bootleg footage that was on TikTok. Like I was like, y'all did not go into the movie like with the, but of course you did because we all have little camcorders on our phone. All right, love y'all. It's time to go to sleep. It's 9 o'clock. Um, as always, and I always say on the podcast, again, it's the Hey, it's Halicue podcast. New episodes dropping this Thursday. I always, the way I like to sign off is by saying good night and goodbye until we meet again the next week to all of the beautiful, the brilliant Black women of the 92%. I just want to extend to you all the love in my heart. And to those that rock with us, all the love in my heart. And to everyone else, I sincerely hope you have the day that you voted for. And that's how I feel about it. All right. So I'll see y'all over on the podcast. Come check out the replay of the video over on YouTube. Y'all have a good night. I love y'all like play cousins. Have a good night. Go see Sinners. Okay. Go see it. Go see Sinners. Go see it. It's an amazing movie. Go see it a couple of different times. Make plans. Take somebody you love. Take somebody you like. Give away a ticket to somebody. Okay. It's excellent, excellent filmmaking. All right. Love y'all. Good night. All right. Good night.